Alright, what's going on, guys? Today is May 26th. I'm going to be going over today's price action in the one trade that I took today. Today I took a break-even trade, targeting all-time highs. So I'm going to go over my higher time frame bias, exactly what I was thinking coming into the day, and then where I ended up executing, and some things that I could have improved on. So starting off in the higher time frame here, we opened up today and we were trending or playing inside of this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. So I wanted to be bullish just due to obvious structure, right? We're obviously in bullish structure on the higher time frame, but I wanted to see how we reacted inside of this 4-hour fair value gap, right? So if we were going to respect it, then we would probably trend lower. I would wanted to see us take out London low, and then we also had this new week opening gap below us as well, right? It's still unfilled. So I was just playing it safe, kind of didn't have a clear bias on the day. Obviously, I wanted to be more bullish, but for me to be able to take longs, I needed to see us displace through this 4-hour fair value gap and, invalidate it, right? So coming into the day, I wanted to see us either come lower and manipulate down to this low, sweep out this low right here, which is going to be a low, if I can put my magnet back on. This is going to be a low inside of a 30-minute fair value gap as well as an hourly. Yeah, an hourly low as well. So I wanted to see us either manipulate, sweep out that low, and then give us a move higher, and or tap into this 30-minute fair value gap right here, as well as giving us a push to the upside, right? Respecting off that 30-minute. And then we also had London low as well, so I was open to the possibility of maybe seeing us sweep out London low, tap into this new week opening gap, and then give us a move higher. So that's kind of the conditions that I had set for the day. But the biggest condition I had was definitely going to be this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. I wanted to see how we reacted inside of that, right? So off market open, we can clearly see we came into the day with a bearish SMT, right? So we had a bearish SMT right here with the S, and then off market open, we actually created another bearish SMT. So market opened right here on this wick. What do? We wicked up, swept out this high right here, and that created another bearish SMT. ES failed to come and sweep out this high. So this bearish SMT ends up driving us lower, which is exactly what I wanted to see. We move lower inside two 15-minute fair value gaps, which comes together to make a big 30-minute fair value gap, and then we still had this low inside this hourly, right? So that's what I saw off market open, and yeah, so price ended up just trending lower. ES moved much lower, and we saw ES actually come out and take London low, right? So on this big move right here, where we left this 15-minute wick, we created a bullish SMT with this low right here, the low inside of the hourly. We also created a SMT with London low, right? So NQ failed to sweep out London low. ES did sweep out London low. So we had two higher time frame bullish SMTs, driving us to the upside, as well as the higher time frame PD array delivery being this 30-minute fair value gap, as well as this hourly fair value gap still, right? So at that point, I was open to longs. I did want to see price move higher. I had my higher time frame PD array delivery. I had my higher time frame SMTs, and we are still at all-time high price action in bullish structure on the higher time frame, right? So was definitely open to seeing a move to the upside. The first trade that I was looking at was going to be this 5-minute inverse, actually. And I saw a lot of people take the lower time frame entries. Can I get this off my screen? I saw a lot of people take these lower time frame entries, right, based off this 1-minute inversion as well as maybe this 3-minute inversion. But for me, again, I was playing this a little bit more mechanical, right? That would have been a little bit more of a discretionary entry, which I understood that we'd probably play out, drawing towards all-time highs, but I wanted to wait for a little bit more of a mechanical entry. So I ended up fading these setups, right, and waited for this 5-minute. And I wanted to see this 5-minute close not as high as it did, right? I would like to see an ideal close like somewhere, like right here. But we did not end up getting that close, right? The 5-minute ends up projecting or displacing way higher through this 5-minute fair value gap, and takes out my break-even point, closes above my break-even point. So for me, this trade would have been invalid, and the RR didn't make sense. I didn't want to have an 84-point stop loss, so this just didn't make sense. So I waited for price to create more structure. And again, I just wanted to see some sort of continuation model. We're clearly displacing to the upside. I wanted to see some sort of continuation model towards all-time highs, right? So after we get that, what do? We open up a 5-minute fair value gap. So we have a 5-minute BPR down here. Just draw that out. And then we also have a 5-minute fair value gap right here, right? So For me, my bread and butter continuation model is I want to see price retrace back into a 5-minute fair value gap or a 3-minute fair value gap, which in this case we actually did both. But majority of the time I want to see us retrace into a 5-minute fair value gap. So we end up at first, right, this first little displacement move, this first manipulation move right here to the downside, we end up failing, sweeping, tapping into this 5-minute fair value gap. ES did, so we had a slight SMT here, and then we created a 1-minute fair value gap that I wanted to see used as an inversion fair value gap to take us to all-time highs, right? So that's what I saw at first. We end up respecting this 1-minute FVG, right? We tap into CE of the FVG, and the body closes below the fair value gap. Very nice. And so I'm thinking we're probably going to get a resweep. And again, I'm staying patient. I want to see us tap into this 5-minute fair value gap. This slight SMT wouldn't be enough for me to take long. So if we didn't get this resweep back into this 5-minute, I probably wouldn't have taken the trade. But we did, right? We get this perfect resweep back into the 5-minute. And this is exactly what I need to see continuation longs, right? So I ended up waiting for this 1-minute IFVG, and I entered in on that candle. Looking back, in hindsight, this 30-second would have been the better entry, and I would have not gotten break even, right? So if I would have taken this 30-second right here, let me mark this out. 30-second right here, I probably would have had stops at the swing low, and even if I would have targeted all-time highs, would have been in for a 1-to-1. I was going personally for about a 1 to 1.3 on this trade, trying to receive a $1,500 day. So this would have been my take profit right here. I also wanted to see us tap into the 30,000 mark, right, on NQ. I was very confident we'd probably hit 30,000 today, new landmark for the NASDAQ. So I wanted to see us tap into 30,000. That was also part of my target as well. Factored that into my take profit as well. So this trade would have been the better option here. Just hesitated on the 30-second entry. Wanted to wait for more confirmation, getting that 1 minute. But this 30-second should have been the entry that I should have taken. I got all the confluences that I needed. Everything aligned. Drawn liquidity was very, very clear, being all-time highs. And I wouldn't have gotten break even, and I would have hit full take profit. And as you can see, we're clearly displacing higher. Moved about 150 points from my take profit, right? So 30-second entry would have been the optimal entry. But in this case, I did take the 1 minute. I got in about turn the magnet off, 977.25 right here. And, my stops were pretty wide on this as well. I wanted my stops to swing low. The way that I calculated my position sizing, ended up being somewhere like right here, right? Risking about $1,300 of drawdown, just going for about a 1 to 1.2 to receive this $1,500 winning day. So this is what I ended up going for, and as you can see, we're clearly displacing higher. I was comfortable targeting about 50 points above all-time highs. Just based off, my prior experience trading all-time highs. Once we create a new all-time high, we don't just immediately reject as if we created a liquidity sweep, right? We're usually going to continue trending to the upside, creating new higher prices, right? So I was fine targeting about 50 points above all-time highs here. So I ended up getting in right before this 1 minute candle closes, inversing this fair value gap. Got in. Was targeting, about a 1 to 1.2, was going to go break even at all-time highs, and, that's exactly what happened. So, ended up going break even at all-time highs right around here, and I can add this in. Right, ended up going break even around all-time highs, and price comes down, stops me at a break even by, almost 2 points, right? So, just an unfortunate break even there, but I could have taken the 30-second and would have been totally fine here. I also had, a lot of confidence that we were going to go higher, but just based on my model, I went break even where I was supposed to, followed my rules, and, although I feel like I definitely could have just reduced my risk and not gone break even, that's not my model. I stayed true to my model, followed my rules, so nothing we can really do about it. Still a winning day in my book, followed my rules, executed my system, and the trade ended up, playing out to full TP eventually after I was stopped at a break even, right? So that is the setup that I went for today. Unfortunately, ended up getting break even. And, in hindsight, going to go back and journal. This 30-second definitely should have been the entry that I took today. I also could have had probably a tighter stop here. I think that the 50-point stop is definitely a little bit excessive. Once we got the inverse, I assume that all-time highs are just going to get ran. There's not really much reason that we'd come back lower. So I could have probably had a stop, right around like 39 points, something like that. That would have been much cleaner. And then that would have given me, I think almost full take profit if I was risking $1,300. It would have been a 1-to-1. I don't know if I would have gotten my full take profit that I would have been looking for here before getting stops at a break even. But either way, a little bit of an excessive stop loss, and just some things to work on, right? But all in all, great trade. Um, Clear draw and liquidity, clear continuation model. Not much I can ask for to align better. So just an unfortunate break even, but yeah. I assume that we continue to push up higher for little whiles now. We achieved the new landmark of 30,000 on the Nasdaq, so I assume that we continue to trend higher here. ES, if we can see here, also TopStep just added in their commissions and fees. So every break-even trade, I'm losing like $5 to $13 now, which is a little bit unfortunate, but who cares, right? Yeah, as you can see, ES is definitely trailing behind, right? We're still inside this 4-hour fair value gap. I assume that we'll probably get a push up to all-time highs, some sort of around, Asia or London session. If not tomorrow during New York AM, we'll definitely run all-time highs. I think we see this 4-hour get inversed at the end of this 4-hour candle in about 3 hours. But we'll see. Clearly just trending higher. Market is in clear bullish structure, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah. All in all, that's the trade that I took today. That is the price action that I saw. So very clear day, I think. Very clean day. Not many opportunities to execute unless you took a discretionary entry right here. But all in all, very clean day, and I'm looking forward to see what the rest of the week brings us. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Hopefully you guys ended up green today or protected your capital. But either way, yeah, that's gonna be it for me. So I'll see you guys tomorrow or later this week, next time that I take a trade. So yeah, see you guys later. Peace.